Welcome to DWBI Adda channel. Please subscribe for latest training videos.
Hi guys, welcome to today's MuseSoft tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to look at DataWeave 2.0 and how its various functions and features can help us format our output data. We'll look at how to transform JSON input into XML output and vice versa. We'll look at different modules in DataWeave. We'll learn how to use variables and functions in our code. We'll also look at how to implement if-else statements in our code block, as well as use operators such as group by, join by to achieve optimum formatting of our output data. So let's get started. We'll simply work with our transform message component. Since transform message component in Studio allows us to look at both input and output without having to send any data to the server. So first things first, we'll define our input metadata or input payload. We'll simply click here and click edit sample data, and this will open a tab called payload. In this payload, we'll insert an array that I have here created already of students with 6 fields: first name, last name, department, age, ID and date of birth. We'll copy all of this and simply paste it in our payload tab. So this will create a dummy payload for us to work with, and this will help me show you all the features that I'm about to show you. So we have our JSON input right here, so we're going to try to convert this into XML output. So let's get started with that. Firstly, we'll need to define our output to application XML, and whenever we are transforming JSON to XML, the structure for XML and JSON is not the same. It's not a 1:1 correspondence. So an XML output always requires a root node. Our root node will be students, and this will contain the information of every student. So student will be a payload map. Map operator, as we already know, is used to output arrays. So as we can already see in our preview here, we have a student block for each student in our payload. So let's define some fields here. Full name will be used to concatenate our first name and last name. Let's add a space here. That should do it. And similarly for all the other fields, we can just input all the fields here. Here we can see we have successfully completed our input JSON to XML transformation. And always remember that when converting JSON to XML, we need to provide a root node, and our root node here is students. So without students, our transformation won't work. As you can see, it's throwing an error. So that is how we transform JSON to XML. Now that we have completed our JSON to XML transformation, let's try to convert XML input into JSON output. So we'll use another transform message component, and we'll input our sample data, which will basically contain the output from our first transform message. So to convert XML to JSON is pretty straightforward. Simply specify output to application JSON, provide a key for our payload. Let's say payload dot students, and here we'll make use of the star operator so that we can iterate over each student in our students array. The star operator, if you don't know, is used to iterate over each element in an array. This comes in pretty handy when trying to output XML to JSON. If we just provide a key for student and give the $, This will basically capture all the data stored in the student element and display it under the student key in a JSON body. Let's see how it looks. As we can see here, students is an array and containing the key student, which contains the body from our XML. So that is how we convert XML to JSON. Let's look at some common functions and modules in DataWeave and how they can help us format our data. For a third transformation, we'll use another transform message component and we'll use our JSON array as the dummy input. First thing, we'll just get a plain JSON output of our payload, provide a key called data and payload. So let's create a function in a script here that will allow us to convert a short form of department to full form. So let's define a function here. We'll define a function called full form in the header section of our DataWeave script. So this is how we can make use of if and else if block as well in our code. We write the if condition in a bracket and the expected output if that if condition is true in the bracket following the first bracket. Similarly for else if. So we'll complete our function here. And here we can see that we have completely defined a function full form and we can make use of it in a DataWeave body. So as we can see, we have been successfully able to implement a function full form that converts the short form of our department, as you can see here, into its full form. So that is how we can define a function in our DataWeave header and use it in a body. Now let's look at the modules in DataWeave 2.0. So modules in DataWeave 2.0 are nothing but a collection of functions. So we have various modules in DataWeave such as string, core, we can see here. For more information on the modules in DataWeave, you can refer to documents.mulesoft.com, and as we can see here, we have different modules like arrays, binaries, numbers, etc., each with their own function which can be called and used in our DataWeave script. Let's see how we can do that. So let's call a function from the strings module of DataWeave. So to import a module, simply type in import star from DataWeave core string. So when you specify the star here, this means that it will call all the functions from the module string. So one of the functions available to us in the string module is the capitalize, which basically capitalizes the first letter of a string. So we can call the capitalize function here. As we can see, our capitalize function is working fine and our department field has been capitalized. So that is how we call modules and use their functions. Another way to call the module is, so this will import the module, but to define the function we'll have to specify it in a different way. So this is another way of calling the functions in a module. So now that we have looked at the functions and modules in DataWeave, let's look at other operators such as Let's say you want to group all the students by the department that they are in. So to do that, to group students based on their department, we will have to first enclose our data in a set of curly braces. And after the first map, we will simply input group by and specify the grouping criterion. This will create an array of all the different departments and the students in it. As we can see here, we have the mechanical array, we have the civil array, and so on. Now we have our payload grouped according to the department of the students. Let's say we wanted to sort this payload depending on the age of students. So that can also be achieved using the order by operator. So to sort our payload, we simply write order by followed by the criterion with which we wish to sort our payload. So here we are sorting our payload by the age of the students, and as we can see inside our grouping, our students have been sorted according to their ages. So that is how we use order by and group by. Another function that we are going to learn about today is the join by function. So join by can be used to join two strings. Let me show you how to use join by. Let's say we want to concatenate the first name and second name into a full name field. You can simply do that by putting the first name and last name together in an array, then using the join by function. Join by is always followed by the separator that will be inserted in between the two strings. So we can join any number of strings with this method. Let's specify another string here. So any number of strings in an array can be joined using join by. Another way to concatenate strings is of course by using the plus operator, the double plus operator. Let me show you that. So this is another way of concatenating two strings using a 2 plus sign, that is an operator for joining two strings. That is it guys for today's tutorial. Hope you guys have gotten a deeper understanding of DataWeave 2.0.